So I will say this, though, however, when you have certain movements that take place, like, the transgender movement, look how much pull and power they have. Holy shit. They can shake government. So
True.
the governments give a shit about one thing and one thing only, and that's votes. They need to get votes. So if enough people made enough noise about this overpricing and the cost of living, and they told, I think the Trudeau government has a really good idea that they're not going to win. They've just fucked up for far too long.
Oh, yeah. Here comes Pierre, baby.
And even him,
Yeah.
just the change of hands, it's going to be, this guy gives a bunch of promises. Watch what's going to happen.
See what happens. But you know
Not
what?
much.
Anything is different than the Liberals right now. Just anything.
You know what the thing is? You know what the thing is, Cheyenne? I understand people like to have some hope, right? And they go, okay, if we get this new government in, it's going to change things. Keep one thing in mind, okay? There's 5 of us here talking, okay? Imagine if tomorrow, Ryan. Imagine if tomorrow I told you.
Remember that.
Ryan's here. So imagine if tomorrow I told you that your job is going to be handling billions of dollars, okay? Hundreds of billions of dollars on a daily basis. No one's going to question you. You can pretty much do whatever the fuck you want, okay? But you got elected because we trust you that you have access to these resources, not only money, but contacts and all kinds of shit that you, your family and your close circle of friends can benefit from. But again, we trust you that you'll do the ethical thing. And you've got the key to this bank vault that has billions of dollars. And then on your fucking list of contacts on your phone, you've got numbers of all the top judges, all leaders of other powerful people as well who are like this, who you can, cash in on. And now you got elected. Okay. Are you going to dip your finger into some of that hundreds of billion that that, hey, you know what? 10 million gets disappeared from here. No one's going to know. And you know what? Since you're on my team and you're on my team and I'm going to give you each $1 million.
You really want to know my
10.
answer to that question?
Yeah.
Do you actually want to really know my answer?
I want everyone.
That's fine because I would take all those official judges' phone numbers and names of people I have, and I'd be like, "Hey, y'all, come to this penthouse, cocaine and hookers." Then I would blackmail them, and then I would just replace the money with the blackmail money. Like that's my creative team answer.
Okay, so
That's a good idea.
I would just commit a crime with a crime.
So you'd be Robin Hood, basically.
Oh my God.
I will tell you this.
I get what you're saying.
You know what? To get to that level. So for someone, let's say, today, Melissa got involved in politics because she's like, what can we do about all this fucking bullshit with this high cost of living? And she's sick and tired of it. And she has friends of hers who are struggling. And with all these debates we've had, she's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to get into politics. Okay. What city do you live in?
Hamilton.
So now she's running in that area of Hamilton. She's going to be running, right? Now she joins a fucking political party and she gets voted in. All right. Then she decides to run for mayor of Hamilton. Okay. And she wins. Okay. Now, when she's going to be the mayor of Hamilton, the previous mayor of Hamilton that was there are businesses in Hamilton and Hamilton runs a certain way. For you to completely change that, you'll be axed and you'll be kicked the fuck out. Right. You have to kind of comply with some of the stuff that's been taking place. The steel factories, that pollution going into into Lake Ontario, you got to turn a bit of a blind eye to that. There's overspending with the police force. If
the mountain is collapsing,
a lot of this stuff, even though you realize now that you're in, and you start looking at this stuff, you go, holy shit, there's a lot more problems than I thought. Well, I want to fix this one. Oh no, actually you can't touch that because this corporation gives us this much money and they pay this much in taxes. We know they're polluting Lake Ontario, but we're kind of okay with that. Okay, well, this is happening with the police force. They're spending, I know, but if you start cutting money there, the crime's going to go up because when people call 911, they're going to wait a lot longer and blah, blah. And you're like, but we're overspending. I know that, but you can't really touch. So now you'll realize, okay, there's some things you can't touch, right?
So much red tape.
Then you decide to move on, and now you want to become the premier of Ontario, and then eventually moving on to becoming the prime minister. By the time you get to that fucking level, imagine how many skeletons you have in your closet and how many times you've shooken the hand of the devil to get to where you are, because you have to make a lot of promises. You promise this corporation you're not going to mess with them, so they're going to give you funding for your campaign. You promise these people you won't do this and you won't do that. But now while you were going through the election process and you're campaigning all across the country, you made a bunch of false promises to get elected. Because the current government is fucking things up. It's like, I will make sure when I become prime minister that the price of gas is going to go down to $1.20. And people are like, yay. Now I'm going to make sure the cost of living, blah, blah. And you're like, yay. And now all of a sudden, when you got elected, you go to the gas people and they're like, we're not fucking fuck you. We're not dropping. And you're like, okay, sorry, we couldn't do it. But I'm going to find another way to save you guys money. And people go, boo, boo. But you're still in power. So when you get to that level, you've got skeletons in your closet. You've definitely stabbed a ton of people, right? You've shook the hand of the devil. You got blood in your hands. And now, because I would say that, your compassion or empathy or whatever it was that caused you to get into it is muddied because you're like, I got into it for a good cause and a good reason, but a lot of my goals that I wanted to accomplish, I couldn't because if I did try to, my career was over. Right? Because the party would I would not be getting elected.
But even when you don't accomplish those goals, your career is going to be over soon anyway. So,
So now when you're in power and you become the prime minister and you've got access to everything, I'm sorry, which human being is not going to take a little bit of advantage of that? Come on. You've got access to billions of dollars. You have access to making deals with other countries and other governments. And there's opportunities of kickbacks are going to come in that's going to set up you and your children forever. Why is it that you've got presidents like Obama, what's his wife's name, Michelle? They bought a fucking property, I think in Martha's Vineyard, for over $20 million. Can you tell me how President Obama, when the president of the United States has an annual salary of $200,000, can afford to buy a $20 million property?
wow.
How is that
Is that
possible?
really all he gets paid? $200K?
That's it.
Oh, wow.
Trump gave up his money. He didn't even take a paycheck.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
Yeah, he
So
took.
he's already like, rich,
did you see
though.
how many personal days he took? I think it was like a total of like 2 months in total. He took personal days.
And tell me, did he get fired? Nope.
No, and the best part was when he went to the Queen's funeral, he spent taxpayers' dollars, and each night it was like $6,000 a night in a hotel
Oh,
room.
it's way more than that. I'm sorry. That's just that. Think about all the Secret Service and all that fucking shit.
Yeah, that's just the room.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is politicians become politicians for a reason. They may have gotten into it because they had good intentions, but as they start moving up and they get to the level where they have world power, meaning they dominate that country, they're handcuffed. There's a lot of shit that they cannot do, and there's a lot of stuff that they realize is readily available for them. And even a person with the best conscience.
Yeah, they all
I'm
a
get
sorry,
good
but I
person.
don't think those people their minds aren't strong enough.
No.
Like they get too manipulative
You're not
and too
understanding
walked
my
over.
point is that if you get to that level,
Yes.
that's the only way you will get to that
Yeah.
level.
You need
But
to be corrupt.
when you mention
Yeah, you're
you
not-
mention Trump, he's
Yeah.
still fighting hard and still an honest man
What?
Still an honest man?
when it comes
Honest?
to keeping promises and staying dedicated.
I don't know. He said
Like what?
I said he was going to clean the swamp, and he made it even more swampy.
What did he actually do? Like that was
Well, you made
actually
a good example where Trump didn't touch the money, and he went
he
went to
didn't-
different camps and he helped.
No. So what he didn't take the salary. He didn't take the salary that a president gets. But what he did do, for example, is whenever there's dignitaries that come in from foreign countries, they stay at hotels. He made sure they stay at his hotel at
Yeah.
the price that the government pays for a dignitary, not the regular rate. So if you booked a room in a fucking Trump hotel, let's say you paid $400 a night. But when a dignitary stays there, the hotel bills the government maybe like $3,000 or whatever. Yeah. And he did
didn't know that.
And he said that, well, his hotels are, his kids run it. Well, yeah, the money's trickled back down to you. So I'm not saying Trump sucks or he's amazing. They all do it. All of them.
Well, in that case, I would
All
like
of
to give a shout out to Matthew Perry, who beat up Justin Trudeau.
Yeah,
in
I read the
elementary
book.
School.
Yep.
Did he really?
Yes, and
Yeah,
and
he was actually
went
almost
on-
related to him. Like
Yeah.
they were a family.
And they he was
Wow.
on, I think it was like Jimmy Kimmel or something, like Jimmy Kimmel show or whatever. And
Yep.
Matthew Perry's telling the story, and Jimmy Kimmel goes,
Yep.
"You're telling me, Trudeau didn't have any security as a kid, like because his father was the." He goes, "No." He goes, "We beat him up on the playground."
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Now,
Trudeau actually apologized to Matthew after he died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, he's dead. I might as well
Shout out to Matthew.
apologize.
It's terrible.
It was bad how he died.
Yeah.
They found him dead in his hot tub.